of Odyssey or 97.3 The Fan. Sometimes they tell some pretty hefty fish stories. We don't know if they're true or not.
And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, Cory Sanden, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Cory Sanden.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Cory Sanden. Rock Cod Rick's on vacation, and boy, do we have a great guest for you today. From the saviors, the best, the superheroes of the sport fishing industry in Southern California, the Everyingham Brothers Bait Company. Joey Neves is here. We're going to be talking fishing, bait, and a whole bunch more. And boy, oh boy, do we have some big news on the Bluefin front. So you stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan. Take a closer look at the Ford Bronco and the Bronco Sport. You'll see adventure, discovery, and even a little mud. These 4x4s provide the muscle, tech, and durability to go anywhere. Get your ideal combination of power and capability to handle whatever comes your way, whether it's taking something down to the launch ramp or going out in the desert. It's time to see Ford in a new light. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealers to check out the new Ford Bronco or Bronco Sport today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
This is Duke Ekstrom from the Royal Star. In 1983, a group of intrepid anglers envisioned crafting the best sunglasses on the water. It's true now as it was then. Costa's performance frames excel in the toughest of elements. These styles are packed with functional features that create a competitive advantage for any adventure on the water. From the lake to offshore, Costa's Performance Collection has a legacy of helping anglers stay on the water longer. Learn more at costadelmar.com.
I believe there is no doubt that the finest sport fishing in the world starts right here in San Diego. This is Captain Frank Lopresti. Our fleet of long-range boats and crew are unmatched, and the Royal Polaris and Shogun are right at the top of the list. Captain Jonathan Yamati and his crew aboard the Royal Polaris are considered to be the finest long-range vessel in the world. From summer bluefin, yellowtail, and wahoo to giant yellowfin tuna, our record is unmatched. The Shogun, under the direction of Captain Rene Monteagudo, has become one of the most popular long-range boats in the fleet. This big, wide, solid riding vessel has gained a reputation for catching fish and treating their customers to an epic vacation on the water. I am so proud of Jonathan, Rene, and the crews on both the Royal Polaris and Shogun, as they have helped me keep the reputation of the premier vessels in the long-range fleet. Come see for yourself. Book a trip on the Royal Polaris or Shogun today. Check royalpolarissportfishing.com or shogunsportfishing.com, or call Monica or Jen in the office at 619-226-8030.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, and stoked about today's show.
Yeah,
Pete.
I think you should introduce Joey because you're kind of part of that Everyingham Brothers Bait family.
Well, I mean, I put in quite a few years, but Joey's the man. Is it Joey Neves?
Yeah, Neves.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Captain Joey Neves,
Captain.
right? That's right. And which boat do you run, Joey?
The Rival.
The Rival.
Yep.
All right. That's cool. Let me get the mics all adjusted here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about your job. What do you do?
I run the Rival.
Which is the big boat,
yeah,
right?
There's two big boats. There's the Rival and the Ebco.
And
we're supplying bait for San Diego, Mission Bay, and Dana Point.
I mean, let's just start out.
Yeah.
The sport fleet that we have here in San Diego, and I mean Dana Wharf and up to Santa Barbara, is so unique. Really, right here is the epicenter, right?
Yes.
Like San Diego. There's no other sport fishing operation with this many boats that operates as high level as we do.
Yep.
And it's because of the damn bait company, period.
How many boats do you guys have?
There's 4 fishing boats. We have 4 boats fishing constantly. Yeah.
Constantly.
Yep.
Like even in the winter?
Yep. Still got to catch bait for long range.
For long range,
Yep.
yeah.
And that stuff has to have time to cure. So in between maintenance and shipyard stuff, you're still hauling bait all year.
So what's a typical day for Captain Joey? Give us an
typical
idea.
fishing day? We'd leave the dock at between midnight and 2 a.m. typically, And if the fish is close, you could have a short day. It could be an 8-hour day if you get it right away and come straight back to San Diego to unload.
How many hours?
8 would be the shortest, probably.
Most minimal. I remember exactly.
Probably the quickest day you could have if everything goes right.
If it bites.
Yeah, and if everything goes right, if
Yeah.
you get it right at the front door and get it in and get it off the boat quick. But an average day, I'd say, is probably 12 hours, 14 hours. But you go until you get it. Yeah, summertime, you go until you get it. So if you don't get it in that 12 hours, you're still looking.
And on top of that, if you don't catch, or it might be better later in that session, you're leaving later the next morning.
Yep.
And your whole life is dedicated to not knowing when you're working the next day. It might be midnight, it might be 5 a.m. It could be.
It's all conditions depending.
Conditions.
Yeah.
And how do you find the bait?
Mostly we fish in the dark. Typically it's easier. There's less boat traffic, boat wakes, less
predatory action.
Everything,
too.
yeah.
Less mackerel, less bonito.
So it's typically all sonar stuff at night. In the daytime, you're fishing like everybody else, bird schools, and you're chasing stuff down. But typically at night, it's all sonar fish.
And are you using the same sonar, that side scan sonar that the long range guys?
Yeah, we actually just put a new sonar on right now. It's the Furuno, the CH500.
CH500, yeah. And are you still using planes? I know Buck was flying a plane and looking around and stuff like that.
It's not very normal. We've been set by the plane before. We'll use them if we have to, more to find us an area. But it's been years since we worked with anyone on a plane.
It's kind of like the sport fleet, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just put us in the area and let us find them, kind of thing.
Yeah. Once you got that fish on the sonar, it's hard to take any. You know what you're looking at.
You know what you're doing.
You want to do it. So but it's nice to have that backup. If we need it, we can use it.
So I mean, the whole thing here of late is chovy, and there's so many sport anglers like cringing at the fact that it might be just chovy. The sardine are here.
Yeah, they're here. It's this time of the year, because we're going through our maintenance. We don't have our whole fleet fishing every day, so you're trying to cover 60, 80 miles of coastline with one boat, and you can't be everywhere at once. So it makes it harder to find it. And then the water temps everything. It's just like everything else. And when this stuff starts to heat up a little bit, that stuff will come back in, and we'll have hopefully a good season.
Right?
Yeah. So can you tell on your sonar or your up and down, whether you're setting on sardine, whether you're setting on chovy, what's your mackerel, whatever?
Yeah, you can. At night, the fish is a little more scattered out, so it's tough to tell on the sonar what you're setting, but on the up and down, you can tell. Yeah. And then now they
just look differently.
The way they stack is different. The anchovy will tend to be spread out with big areas, where the sardine will be schooled up in kind of smaller schools.
And more column on the up and down.
Yeah.
Like
anchovy, you might get 50, 60 foot of fish, big, thick schools, where sardine, you might have 6-8 foot stringers of fish.
Wow. Yeah. But it's all experience, right?
Yeah.
How long you've been on the boat?
I've been running the boat since 2012, and I was on deck and ran the skiffs and everything for, I want to say 5 or 6 years.
You're a young man. I mean, you're
41.
You got a long career ahead of you.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. What's it like for working for the bait company in the world, basically?
Right?
Stressful.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
It's like, you got to get it, right?
I mean, I grew up with a lot of these guys and know them on a personal level. They have my phone number. So when things are slim pickings, I'll start getting phone calls. What's going on? What are you guys seeing?
From the sport boat captain.
Yep.
And we got to give a huge shout out to Brian Kiyahara,
Yep.
a good friend of yours, colleague, I guess you could say, but for kind of forming and putting this whole thing together.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Brian's the one that made it happen.
Yeah. And he's normally one of the guys who'll be calling me,
Yeah.
and then he'll relay, to the fleet.
Joey.
Yeah, he's a great guy, good fisherman.
Yeah, really good fishermen. There's a lot of good fishermen in this fleet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are.
Do they
fortunate.
ever give you tips on what they see as far as where the bait is?
They will,
Yeah.
but we fish typically
A lot closer.
right here on the beach.
Yeah.
So
Like what's a big run for you?
if we have to run north, we have to run up to Huntington or Newport, that'd be a long run, but typically we're shallow water, so we're not really fishing offshore very often.
Yeah, we see a lot off of Point Loma, La Jolla, those areas like.
And then we're limited on where we can set that net to. Anything hard bottom, or if there's wrecks or structure, you can't get anywhere near it.
So you have to know where all the wrecks are.
Every rock, you got to know every rock.
Every rock.
Yeah,
And it just happens that's where the sardine like to be.
they love it.
Yeah,
They do.
They
They love
it's
the
like
hard
a
bottom.
game. There's days you'll drive around and see plenty of fish, and they'll all be where you can't get at it.
Yeah.
You'll be
Just
looking at
because
it.
you snag your net.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or that might be the line of one of the MLPAs that you
sure.
just can't get in, and
Yeah.
you're looking at them, trying to get them to move.
It's like,
and
here, come this way. Here,
And-
throw the bait out.
And they set some of those MLPAs to where it right on the edge of the hard bottom
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like they
I mean-
wanted to encompass as much as they could. And
Yep. We can set at the one just above the border there. We can set there. There's a couple that we can't get in, but some of them we can.
that's an important one too.
Yeah.
I mean that border to Tijuana River is
There's a lot of fish are caught right there.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah, and
of
it's
fish.
good bottom for you to set on.
It's good bottom, and anchovy likes it out there. The sardine likes it right up against the hard bottom, and
Yeah.
it's if you don't see it up here, that's normally we're making a beeline for Tijuana to go see what's down there.
You're down there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. Well, it's quite the art, basically, because it really is just like all the fishing, right? You're
Yeah.
a fisherman, and it's just like whether it's and Tom Green, the fish spotter extraordinaire, used to talk about it. He goes, "I got to go fishing." I go, "Wait a minute." He goes, "Yeah, I'm my plane. I fish from my plane."
Yep.
For the bluefin guys. But that's what you do. You
Yeah,
fish.
it's
You fish. You just fish a different
we're
way.
fishing every day.
Yeah.
So it's just like right now, things are a little slim, but you're fishing every day. You can only catch what's available.
Yeah.
So as things change and the sardine starts to move back in.
Describe the net and how you set. That's something like I don't understand. I know you do. Cory,
are they all seiners?
Yeah.
Okay,
we're all
so,
seiners.
So we can start there.
Per seine.
It's a purse seiner.
Describe what a purse seine is.
So it's a long net. It's 250 fathoms long. It has corks on the top. It has a lead line on the bottom, so the bottom of the net sinks.
And it's how deep does the net go?
At center net, it's 50 fathoms.
50 fathoms.
So it's real deep at
Yeah.
center net. So you have to be careful.
So 300 feet.
Your net's touching bottom.
But
Wow.
but it's so important to mention, but Pete, it might be 300 feet, but with all the tension and everything from one end of the net to the other, that tension might only be fishing 150 feet.
Yeah,
I mean, that's important to
It
mention.
cups out.
Yeah.
You're getting a direction on a school, and you're letting go and getting around them to stop them, and then we'll make a transfer with our skiff and give us the other end of the net, so you have a circle around that school, and then we have a purse winch on deck, and it closes like a drawstring the whole bottom of the net.
Like a
That's what
drawstring
the
purse.
purse
So
is.
you purse that net up, and it closes up, and all the rings and stuff come to the boat, and then whatever's in there is in there.
That's what you got.
And then you slowly reel the net on the drum.
Yep.
and slowly bring that school of fish to the smallest part of the net, which is the sack.
Yep, the sack or the bag. And you wind all that net on, and you're left with your fish in a bag right there next to the boat. And then there's, depending on who it is, there's all different kinds of ways to load that fish. Some guys braille it, some guys fish pumps, and
This is the most important part of Everyingham Brothers. And how do we talk about it without giving up a trade secret, right? I mean, it's
we do it different. We
Yeah,
definitely do it different than
completely
everyone
different.
else.
Yeah, and that's why the bait's so good.
It is.
It's all about not getting the slime or the scales off the bait. Right?
It is, and that's what conditions. We're down there. You're fighting all the elements. So it could be the sea lions. We leave the harbor, and the buoys will clear off, and they'll just follow us. They'll follow you.
so
all
it's
night
not just
long.
the sport boats.
Oh no, they'll follow us all night long and wait for you to set, and then jump the corks and have their feast, and
nightmare.
they'll come in and out and do their thing. And
Yeah, it's part of the process.
It's part of it. You can't. There's no fighting it. You just you go with it.
Yeah. So from when you start wrapping till when you purse that net and are ready to scoop, how long does that process take?
The whole process from when you let go to where you're loading fish is maybe a little under an hour.
Oh, that's
50 minutes.
Huh?
It's real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got to stop them, right?
Yeah. And then you might have to set again right away.
Yeah.
The whole time you're in that haul, you're looking at the school that maybe beat you out or, got pushed out by the sea lions, and you're trying to hurry to get back on them.
It's hard work.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's stressful. The summertime you have to catch every day.
Yeah.
These guys are going through so much bait. You have to catch a load every day.
Yeah. Think about that.
And what's a load in your boat? The rival, right?
It depends on water temp. In the wintertime, we can put 50 boxes on there or more. In the summertime, when the water temp is up and the fish are acting a little funny, we try to keep it around 40. We'll fill 40 lids out there.
40 lids on the bait receiver.
Yep.
How many lids are at the San Diego receiver?
San Diego has 204.
Wow.
204.
Yeah,
how about Mission Bay?
56, I believe, and 24 up
and then 24
Dana
at Dana.
Point.
That's a lot of lids to
fill.
fill.
A lot of lids.
Yeah.
And San Diego will go through 100 lids a day in the summertime.
Wow.
So you have to catch.
Yeah.
There's no.
And how many lids
option.
will Mission Bay go?
They'll use 25, 30 lids depending on if on Friday, Saturday nights when all their boats are running, they're taking bait.
And here's a crazy thing too. Think about this. In the last 25 years, every single sport boat has increased their bait capacity by minimal 50%.
They're adding slammers and everything else.
Nobody thinks about that end of it.
And that's also, you're right. It's the only place really in the world that you can pull up to and buy as much bait as you want.
Right.
You can get as much as you want.
Yeah. And a private boater. I mean, I've been in very long lines when the fish are biting.
Oh yeah.
Does that impact? Does that take a lot of lids?
Not
in
what
comparison.
The sport boats do. Yeah. They will go through some bait up there though.
Yeah.
It was different during the albacore years that they used a lot of bait, and right now with the bluefin, guys are still taking bait, but not quite as much.
Yeah.
There's a lot more coming on jigs.
Well, that yellow fishing at the Coronado Islands last year, that was creating some long lines at the receiver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They'll stack up. They can only get 2 lines and they can only scoop them so fast. So get there early.
Yeah, but those guys are so good, and they're very patient. And I know there's some difficult people sometimes, shall we say, on the boats, and they're just very patient and polite. And they really do a heck of a job. Hats off to them, because that is not an easy job. Because it's 7:24. They're on that receiver when you get there.
Yep.
And no matter what time of the day it is.
And for those impatient people, get out of the line. Go try to catch your own sardine. Like spend your whole day trying to catch 50 pieces of bait so that you can go out and fish, right?
Yeah.
And you would be happy to pay the $50 of the bait receiver
and wait,
at that point.
wait 45 minutes in line and all that. Are you kidding me? Yeah, absolutely. Any day, right? Any day.
Those guys work.
It's such an important part of
it. It is. It's a huge part. I mean, again, that's what makes this area here, San Diego, so darn special for the sport fishing fleet.
Yeah,
for sure.
It starts, with the sport boats, but without the bait company, it would not happen.
Yeah,
period.
They'd spend more than half their time catching bait, not fishing.
Who? I mean, for a personal question, how many the guys running the boat? Like I know John Pratt.
Yep.
And what are the other captains?
Jerry Majors.
Yep. I remember Jerry.
Right now, that's where we're at.
Okay, the three of you.
Yeah. John's splitting 2 boats. He's running the Catch a Lot and the Cougar.
Incredible.
He takes care of Dana and
2 really good people. Shout out to John Pratt and Jerry Majors. I mean, very good people. And
been there a long time.
And
been helping supply bait for a lot of years.
When I was on the receivers in the 80s, they were on the boat. And when I worked on there from the late 80s through the 90s, they were on the boats.
Yep,
and they're still there.
Still there.
Incredible.
Well, as you can hear, we're a great show, but we have some big news here. Captain Frank Lopresti is on the line. Good morning, Frank.
Well, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I believe it's Joey this morning, right?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. Anyhow, yes, we do have some good news. Aliar has 2-day limits of bluefin, 40 to 50 pounds with a handful of 20-pounders in there. Pacific Queen has 44, and I believe the American Anglers around the same number. Some of the other boats didn't get there till late, but very, very good fishing, obviously, and just excited to see it take off. And not all that, it's actually in 1-day range, and so a day and a half trip could, especially a reverse day and a half trip, could really get on that fish fine. And hopefully, they'll be able to fish till probably 10:30, 11 tonight, and add a few more to their scores.
Nice.
But awfully good fishing, and it kind of kicks off our bluefin deal. So we're anxious to get running. Okay.
Yeah,
So what set it off? Is it because of good weather? Is it just the fish made a move? What happened, Frank?
Well, the fish did make a move. The guys were down south more and southeast, and the fish are more out toward the west. And it's just when those things decide to bite. We all know how crazy bluefin can be, and that's just, Aliar and Gavin were out that way looking, and luckily they ran into it starting at about 8:30 last night. So
nice.
It was pretty darn good fishing, and especially for Aliar. Might want to note that the Shogun has just added a 2-day trip leaving on Monday night. So there's plenty of boats scheduled at Fisherman's and Seaforth Sport Fishing. Fisherman's in particular has quite a few boats scheduled leaving Sunday, Monday, all week next week. So all of them are either have no reservations. I know on the Shogun we're going to run if we get 10 reservations.
Oh,
so
my. And how long a trip is that, Frank?
That's a 2-day.
That's a 2-day. Okay, great. And you
That's correct.
call your office, right, for that, or you call Fisherman's Landing?
Call the office or go online. The office won't be open obviously till Monday morning, so it would be best to go online and book your reservation.
And the weather looks good. I mean, that bodes well, and the fish are close, and it's time. It's time to go. Time to book your trip. Get on one of the boats. Go.
Pretty darn exciting.
Yeah, it is. It is. Now, was that pretty much all night fishing, Frank, or was it's possible daytime fish too?
It started around 9:15 last night and went all the way to daybreak.
Jig fishing?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
All jig fishing. I'm sure a sardine on a sinker would have worked too,
Sure.
but I didn't ask those details.
Yeah, gotcha, Frank.
So 3 of the guys were on the fish. The rest of the boats didn't get there till almost daybreak. So, I believe Dave on the Tomahawk will be fishing there tonight, and so will Max on the Max was down to the east about 50 miles when the word came out, so he had a long ways to run. He didn't get there till almost daybreak, so they'll be fishing there tonight, and hopefully they will score.
All right. Well, great. Well, check fishermanslanding.com, Point Loma Sportfishing.com, C4Sportfishing.com, of course, ShogunSportFishing.com, and Polaris Supreme have any spots open?
I think they have one spot coming up on a 2-day trip, so they'd have to look at go online and look. I think there is one spot available in the next couple of days.
All right.
3 or 4 days.
It's go time. Captain Frank Lopresti,
Yep.
Thanks for the big news.
You bet. Take
All right.
care, Pete.
Appreciate the time.
Man, what great news, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the bluefin are biting, and we've got the bait guy in here in studio, Joey Neves.
Yeah.
And just stoked
giving away a great prize.
Stoked to have him, right? And we're giving away an overnight trip on any open party trip out of Fisherman's Landing out of San Diego. I mean, how cool is that, Pete?
Yeah.
Give away the coolest prizes.
Yeah.
Here, man.
So if you want to, hey, you heard Frank. It's
time.
It's within 1 day range. So
I know
there's a chance to go catch some bluefin there.
Okay,
Overnight trip
so
to Fisherman's
if
Landing.
you want to give us a call, you got questions for Joey on the Everyingham Brothers Bait Company, give us a call, 833-288-0973, or you can send us some text via the app, only done on the app, and we're going to be right back. You're listening to Southern California Sport Fishing Voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, 97.3 The Fan, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
Everyone has their go-to fishing spot. My spot is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. Rock Cod Rick here to say if you're looking for the ultimate Alaska experience and the best value in Alaska, it's Kingfisher Charters. Owner Seth Bone and his crew consistently deliver deluxe accommodations, the finest food, world-class fish processing, and top-of-the-line fishing experience. We've literally sent hundreds of our listeners to Kingfisher, and they all can't wait to go back. Most Alaska resorts make big promises, and they don't deliver, or they'll nickel and dime you to drive up the cost, but not Kingfisher. Everything is included. Your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, your gear. Literally all you need to bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. They also have the finest boats and charter captains in Sitka, all for the ultimate value. Take it from me. Book your trip to Kingfisher Charters and you'll thank me. Kingfisher Charters. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
Here's the hot tip on the best fishing LA has to offer. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. They are home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnight on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and three-quarter-day trips on the Sea Angler. For your own private charter, we have the Outrider and True Line available. There's always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or on the web at 22ndstreet.com.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day and full-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
Whether you're boating, floating, paddling, fishing, or just chilling, remember, a good day on the water always starts with everyone wearing life jackets. Save the ones you love. Life jackets save lives. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
All right. Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. And Joey and I just sharing stories and having a good time.
Lots of good stories.
Stoked to have them in here, man. It's such a good thing for our listeners and the sport fishing industry to hear. And if you want to give us a call, 833-288-0973 is an open line for you.
Jeff's
there.
standing by, waiting for your call
At the Fan.
with one line
97.3
open
The Fan.
right now.
Or send us a lot of text coming through on the app, and it's only done through the app. Make sure you leave your name and telephone number, because at the end of the show, Joey's going to flip the coin right here. He's going to flip that coin to see whether the overnight trip out of Fisherman's Landing is going to a lucky caller or a texter. How about that?
Hey, on the line right now, Scott Sherman. Good morning, Scott.
Scott. Good morning.
Guys, how you doing? Great show.
Great. Hey, big event coming up next weekend. It's here, huh?
Yeah, a week from today, the 55th annual Southwestern Yacht Club Bottom Fishing Tournament for charity to benefit Friends of Rollo's coming up a week from today. So we're getting all set up. The weather report is looking very favorable, so I'm looking forward to a good tournament and hoping to see a lot of your faces down there.
Yeah, for sure. It's such a great tournament, super fun, and what a great feast afterwards, too. That's the thing. And the prizes, unbelievable how people pony up for prizes. And the cool thing is all of the proceeds go to Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea, Friend of Rollo, which is super cool.
Yeah, and it's a really, really fun tournament. It's been going on for a long time. It's open to the public. What we do is we get down there in the morning for breakfast, complimentary, pick up all your swag and register, get in the jackpots, those types of things. Then we have a shotgun start at 6:30 out in front of the club. We get out, because shotgun start is important to get to your rock gun spot, but that's a different story. We get out, fish all day. You're back at 3:30 for the weigh-in, and everybody figures out who won their different divisions. We take all that fish and prep it up in the kitchen for a big fish taco dinner and award ceremony where we have raffles and auctions and prizes. And like you said, everything we raise goes to benefit Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea, Friends of Rollo. So it's a great cause, and it's a fun tournament, and it's got a lot of family type camaraderie in this thing. I mean, there's women angler awards, there's small fry awards, just about everything you could think of. And also wanted to thank your guests because they've put up some gift cards for scoops of bait and that kind of thing at the receiver.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So how do we get in, Sherm?
Pretty easy. Go to swycanglers.org and sign up right there on the web. You can go to by Fisherman's Landing, Dana, Squid Co, Angler's Choice, all the guys who have got our placards up, and you can just scan a QR code next time you're in there. But weather's looking really good. Signups are coming in pretty heavy, and just wanted to get the word out. We're a week away, and you know how we all try and do what we can to benefit Friends of Rolla.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks, Sherm. Appreciate that very much, and good luck with the tournament next Saturday.
All right, buddy. Hope to see you down there. If not, come by and have some tacos.
Oh, for sure. All right. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that was one other thing too, bud. You don't have to fish the tournament to come to the event. You can go to the website, sign up, and just come for the dinner and the raffles and those types of things to support the cause.
Buy the raffle tickets, support Friends of Rollo and all that. So thanks for that, Sherm. Appreciate that very much. Appreciate all your help and support. All right. Very good. Hey, I believe we have Gavin from the Pacific Queen on the line. Good morning, Gavin.
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing great. You're on the boat right now, right?
I am on the boat. We're on our first trip of the year.
Oh, congratulations on that. And you're catching fish.
Yeah, so we left Thursday. We had to search around a lot, but once we finally got on some fish last night, we did pretty good. So far, we have 44 bluefin. They're all like 40 to 60-pound fish. We're starting to see really good sign of fish here this morning, but we're super excited. The weather's flat, and it's looking like spring has sprung.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not too far from home.
No. We're well within overnight, even, day and a half, 2-day range. You could fish all night here, all day on a 2-day trip. So it's perfect distance for us.
Wow, fantastic. So what's the hot setup?
This size fish, these 40 to 60 pounders, especially when the weather's nice. I'm a big fan of just smaller size knife jigs. I like those, anything from like 200, 250 gram, those knife jigs. That seem to be the best last night.
Nice. And what about the tungsten jigs, the smaller profile? Is that working too?
Yeah, we had a couple guys using those, and those guys did just fine.
All right. So if you're coming on a trip on the Pacific Queen here, what do you recommend? What's the setup? What kind of gear?
This time of year, we see a lot of different size fish around. Usually, we're changing areas and fish are moving around a lot. So you definitely want to bring the whole kitchen sink this time of year for sure. But based off what we've seen last night and so far this morning, all this fish we've seen is like 30 to 60 pounders, I would call them. I might have a couple setups to fish at night. All range of lures, anything from 150 to 300 or 350 gram lures. And then for daytime, it definitely seems like this time of year, typically fishing lures during the day, 100-gram Colt snipers, Chrome 6X juniors, all the knife jig guys that have all the knife jigs bring that stuff, as well as like a 40-pound fly line outfit. 30-pound fly line outfit will be perfect for what we've seen so far.
Wow, fantastic. That's important stuff. And of course, you can get that kind of stuff at Captain's Concepts too, because I'm sure you and Matt are going to be reporting on Captain's Concepts, right?
Oh, yeah. As soon as I get some time here, either late this night or tomorrow morning, I'll be making a video talking about exactly what we saw, what's the best technique for all that. I'll be doing that for sure.
All right. Well, Gavin from the Pacific Queen, great news. It's here. And what about the Pacific Queen? What do you have coming up? Can people get on the boat right now?
Yeah, you can actually. We have some openings anywhere from now up until mid-May. We got some openings. I just made this Thursday's 2-day trip, morning departure 2-day. We leave at 10 a.m. We only got 8 guys signed up, but we're going to be going for sure. We have another 2-day trip leaving Saturday morning, I believe, and then guys can look at the schedule going forward. We got anything from day-and-a-half trips up to 3-day trips with some availability, I think, up until the middle or towards the end of May. There's some openings. So if you guys want to get on the boat, especially now with some good fish counts coming in, you guys really got to get signed up because I'm hoping they're going to fill up quick.
Yeah, for sure. And good weather looks like this week, so it's time to go.
Yeah, it's time to go fishing.
Yeah, all right. Fishermanslanding.com. You can book the Pacific Queen and go fishing with Gavin, and be sure to check him out on Captain's Concepts for all the latest and greatest stuff. Gavin, appreciate your report this morning.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you guys later. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So
All right.
stoked to hear
How
that
about
fish
that,
is biting,
huh?
man.
Live from
Oh,
Pacific
my
Queen.
God.
It's on.
Finally.
Yeah. It's on.
Yep. Let's do it.
All right, let's jump into the phone.
Let's do that. How about John? John calling from San Diego. Good morning, John. Appreciate you joining us on Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys. I'm really curious about how that first pane setup works out, and I'm also curious if you guys ever experienced any bycatch.
Not typically. And the way our process with bait, everything is live. It's caught live and released live. So we pretty much load what we need, sardine, and let everything else go that's there. It's a quick, clean process. So we don't typically see a lot of bycatch.
And truly, Joey, it's pretty easy to say. I mean, if there's any barracuda on it or any bonito or mackerel, it's uncatchable.
Yeah, you don't want it. You don't want it.
It's
fishing schools,
uncatchable.
but yeah, it makes them really erratic. They're hard to
Squirrely.
catch. They don't have a set direction, and they'll bust big schools into small schools, and it makes it really difficult. So we try to avoid it. That's one of the reasons why we fish so much at night.
Yeah, the predators.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, good question. Thanks a lot for the call this morning. Let's jump back into it. If you want to get through, 833-288-0973. Remember, on Saturday, you just have
Only
chance
the first
to call
hour.
only for the first hour for the Saturday, and then the text the rest of the time.
How about Ryan? Ryan calling from Irvine. Good morning, Ryan. Appreciate you joining us.
Good morning, guys. My question is, what is the difference between the long-range bait and the bait that everyone else uses? I know that bait is cured, but what does it take to make that bait just perfect for the long-range guys?
Just time. It's time. From the time you put that fish on the boat, it loses some of its scales. It's going to lose some of that protective slime. So it just takes 4 or 5 days in a box to really get that stuff back. So it's just time in a box, but it's the same bait that everyone's taken. You might get stuff up in cash sales that's been sitting there for a week, and
yeah,
you're really all taking the same stuff no matter what string it's on.
Since you guys have developed this new process, the bait that I get on my boat has been amazing, with very few exceptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a
very
good
few
bait tank set up and you take care of your bait, you're going to have good luck with it.
Yeah, for sure. And you have to have the right tank on your boat. Don't forget. And the right flow on your tank and everything. I mean, there's a lot of factors. You can't blame it on the bait receiver. A lot of times guys go, oh, my bait rolled and it died. Well,
it happens.
It happens.
You know, it happens. We're fishing
but not
like
very
everyone
often
else.
anymore.
But yeah, it's normally pretty good out there, and those guys are good about managing what box they're going into to try to sell the stuff that has the most time on it first.
Yeah. But you say 4 or 5 days is what it takes
just to start getting all that slime back and everything to really start curing up.
Yeah. All right. Hey, good question though. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
You want to take another call? Let's
Absolutely.
take Ralph. Ralph at Menifee. Good morning, Ralph. Appreciate you joining us this morning.
Hey, good morning, boys. Good morning, Joey.
Good morning.
My question is, with Spanish mackerel, I mean, I know that's what we call them, Spanish mackerel. Do you ever see those things loaded up offshore anywhere, or are they just kind of concentrated to the coastline? And then number two, when you're out there, are you actually speaking with the fleet to let them know what you're seeing as far as like if you're seeing any bluefin or yellowfin or anything like that?
So we're fishing more on the coast, on the beach. The bait likes the beach. They like it in shallow, and so we're in there. We don't fish offshore very often. So we'll talk to those guys back and forth about what's coming or what to expect bait wise, but we're not typically seeing tuna or anything. We stay inshore.
Why inshore? Why is that? Just where the bait is, or it's just easier to catch in there?
Both. You know, they like it in there, and if you're fishing deep water, they can always sound and beach
right out of the
right
net.
out the bottom of the net.
Yeah.
You can put them in there perfect, and you'll see them pop up on the other side of the cork line just laughing at you. So we try to keep it
and then you have to
shallow.
start all over again.
Oh, yeah.
Pull the net
Yep.
in and
Yep.
start all over again.
And typically that coastal water, Joey, is colder, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so it might be a degree or two or even more cooler, and it lacks the predatory action. So the bait is just so happy. Like, I don't know why, but from Point Loma to the border, it's always a couple degrees cooler. Like
it seems like it. Yeah. And that's where that Spanish mackerel is too. It's in shallow. We don't normally see that stuff out deep.
Usually mixed in with a sardine.
It's normally on the beach in there. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Good question though, Ralph. Thanks a lot for the call this morning. And that does free up 833-288-0973. Jeff at the Fan is waiting for your call. You still have a few minutes left to get a phone call in this first hour on the Fan.
And we're going to be right back. It's so cool having Joey Neves in here from Everyingham Brothers Bait Company. Truly an honor.
Learning a lot.
Right? I know it. I love it, man. We're going to be right back on Southern California Sport Fishing Voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on 97.3 The Fan, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
When you're offshore fishing, the right gear makes all the difference, and that includes Fujinon stabilized binoculars from Baker Marine. Baker Marine has been selling binoculars for decades, and more importantly, they service all brands right at their San Diego Shelter Island location. Need the best? The Fujinon Staboscope is the professional's choice. Looking for top-tier stabilization at a great price? The Fujinon Techno Staby TSX 1440 delivers rock-steady vision even in rough waters. Perfect for serious anglers. Baker Marine is the largest Fujinon retailer on the West Coast, and when you buy from them, they will be there when your binoculars need service. Plus, they'll give you a great price on all their in-stock Fujinon binoculars. Stop by their store on Shelter Island in San Diego and test a pair of Fujinon binoculars and see which one is right for you. The fishing season is here, and you know you need a pair of stabilized binoculars. So get them from the experts at Baker Marine. Learn more at bakermarine.com.
Hey, this is Rosie with Cedros Sport Fishing. We have always been the leader with all-inclusive fishing trips to Cedros Island. We now have 2 lodges to choose from, and both sit on the cliff's edge with relaxing ocean views and gorgeous morning sunrises. With direct flights departing to the CBX in San Diego, we are committed to providing first-class service to our guests and an unforgettable fishing experience. Come check out the yellowtail and calico bass capital in the world. Nobody does it better than Cedros Sport Fishing. Call me at 619-772-7570 or check us out at cedrosportfishing.com. Book soon. Trips are going fast.
Hi, this is Captain Ray Lopez, owner-operator of the American Angler. I spent more than half my life aboard the American Angler along with my partners Brian and Lori, developing a team that's as good as it gets. I've been fortunate to spend time in the ocean with so many fine people that I look forward to fishing with. We can't thank you enough for being part of the American Angler family, and if you haven't joined us, we love the opportunity to meet you. Text or call Lori at 619-223-5414 or check AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com.
Have you been looking for a live bait hook that keeps live bait alive? Look no further than Japan's leading fish hook, Gamakatsu. It's the little things that make the difference, and Gamakatsu hooks drive the point home. With an absolute perfect bend and ideal barbs, your bait swims harder and longer. And when you get bit, Gamakatsu hooks bite back with a vengeance. All hooks are not the same. Go with Gamakatsu for infinite success. Gamakatsu, simply the best. Check Gamakatsu.com.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, and such a fun show this morning. And again, if you want to join us, 833-288-0973. Jeff's waiting for you at the Fan, or send us a text. There's a ton of text coming through on the app. Only done on the app.
Yep.
And just an easy download, and we talk about it all the time, man. It's really the only way to listen to the show, like outside of the hours we're on air. You know,
and anywhere you are.
I know it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fan's reach is just pretty much San Diego County, but if you're in LA, Orange County, pick up the app. Yeah. Grab the app, listen to us anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. We have people all over the world that listen to us.
It's free. Why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's find out what's
biting. Shoot, we got Marcos on the line.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we've got our fish report here, and Marcos from Seaforth, and it's sponsored by Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena. It's a place to fill up your car, truck, and boat with the lowest gas and diesel prices. And did you know Summit is also the place to get the lowest prices on ice and snacks for your trip? Over 40 snacks, and all those 40 snacks are 89 cents. And now you can get burritos and sandwiches. You can get everything you need for a day on the water for your entire trip, and all made fresh daily. Ice is nearly half the price of other places, and only $3.99 for a 25-pound bag. That's a 25-pound bag, man, not 20 pounds. And you get 100 pounds of free ice if you're filling up with 35 gallons or more. 100 pounds of free
100
ice,
pounds.
man. I can't
Yeah,
get
and
over
that's like you said, you fill up the car for
Dude.
15 gallons, and then you fill the boat up with 15 gallons,
And
just
I-
top it off, and you get 100 pounds of free
I
ice.
take both receipts in, and okay, there you go.
Yeah,
You know,
and
you're off.
Martha will just give you 100 pounds. And they have a great new car wash, too, at Summit Gas.
So crazy. And that's only at one place. That's at the San Diego Sports Arena.
Yep, Summit Gasoline. It's the bomb, and they cater to fishermen.
Good morning, Marcos.
Good morning, guys. How you guys doing?
Great,
Very well.
great. How's the fishing? We hear it's going off.
Yeah, I hear Frank was on the show stealing our thunder.
I hit the nerve of
So
it.
yes, yeah, and we'll give him that. But just a little update to what he was telling you guys with those bluefin out there. We did hear from the Tribute just recently here, and he does have a few daytime fish on there. I think he said he had 3 fish on there, so that's looking like maybe it's not only a nighttime bite in the fish day and a half range. And he did just add a trip during the week leaving Wednesday. So he doesn't have a trip next weekend on the Tribute there, but he does have a Wednesday departure. And like we've talked about, it's only a matter of time for those fish to start biting like crazy, and we're starting to see that. The San Diego, not into the bluefin and yellowtail, but they've had some spectacular bonito fishing on there, and they've had some big bonito. We're talking, 10 to 15 pound bonito on there in addition to the stuff they're having there. So that's, I'm sure there's some sore shoulders from those trips there. So great fishing all around. Those half-day trips, lots of good bottom fishing in the mix there. Still haven't really woken up the yellowtail or the calico bass, but as the weather kind of stabilizes a bit here, I'm sure we'll see more of that. So definitely check the website, seaforthlanding.com. We got those half days, the full days, the day and a half on the Tribute. We've got a few other trips in the mix there also. To make your reservations directly online, give us a call at the office, 619-224-3383. More than happy to answer you guys' questions, get you all set up, and get you out there fishing, because it's definitely time. Things are really starting to heat up here.
Such good times. Now, bluefin biting now, but man, those bonito are so underrated.
Big.
Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you start
Yeah.
talking an 8-pounder or better, and they are legitimate for sashimi and for, I'm telling you, man.
And they pull hard.
Yeah,
And you're
that's fun
talking
fishing.
to-
That's really fun fishing.
Yeah.
and you're
super
talking
fun.
to 10 to 15 pounders, man.
Woo.
Oh, so good eating.
Yeah.
Like, please.
Really
yes.
good stuff.
Another nice thing too is a lot of those boats, like San Diego and New Seaport Sea Watch, all those boats have fish holds on them, so they're not sitting on the deck getting mushy. Like I know a lot of people, didn't like that in the past, where they'd come home and the bonito might not be in the best condition, but those boats sure take care of them now. So you're getting some nice fish to eat when you get home with those guys, and like you said, a lot of fun. I mean, they pull pretty hard there, don't they?
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, if somebody wants to come out, how do we find you, Marcos?
Check the website, seaforthlanding.com. We have our full schedule up there, lots of information there. You can make your reservations directly online. If you'd rather talk in person or on the phone, give us a call, 619-224-3383. Come down, visit us in person, get your gear set up, and get out there fishing.
Gotta love it. C4 Sport Fishing. Go for it. And thanks, Marcos. We'll talk to you next Saturday.
We'll talk to you then, guys.
All right. Thanks for the call.
Let's jump into the lines.
Yeah,
and
for
talk
sure.
to Mike. Mike's calling from Arizona. Good morning, Mike. Appreciate you joining us on Let's Talk Hookup.
Morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Great.
Real good.
Great.
Hey, a quick question for you. They're talking a lot now about the 2-day trip opposed to the day and a half and the 2.5. Could you tell me what time those boats load and get back on a 2-day?
You guys pumped up about the bluefin. Yeah. So that actually, the day and a half trips, I mean, some of those you got to look at them, Mike, because they're actually leaving some in the morning, some in the evening, and a lot of them try to maximize their evening fishing hours, so they leave a little bit earlier. But it depends on what boat you're going on, and the 2 days are the same exact thing, But you can go on Seaport's website, Fishing's Landing, and
Point
you can
Loma.
actually see, like Frank said earlier, I mean, that bluefin is ready to go, and there are trips with a lot of openings right now as we speak. But
Yeah.
those are going to fill up.
That would be a good time for sure. When they start biting like this and the good weather, for sure. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right. Let's talk
John
to
in
John.
Dallas.
Yeah, John.
Yeah,
Calling
hey,
from
John.
Dallas. Good morning, John.
Good morning, guys. I'm excited now the bluefin are biting, but my question to Joey is, with all that anchovy in the water, do you think we're going to get into salmon this year?
Ooh,
Salmon?
Salmon. You think? I mean, what are your predictions on a salmon year?
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, we do know that the state of California opened up
A 2-day recreational, it's commercial fishing for salmon in Northern California is closed for the year, but they opened a 2-day salmon fishery. I believe it's in July for 2 days. And then if they haven't reached the quota of fish, then it'll open again for 2 days in September. So that's the newest regulation. So if you catch a salmon around here, you're probably going to have to let it go, and unless you catch it in those 2 days.
Or you could book a trip to Haida Gwaii or
Yeah,
to,
you can go to Queen Charlotte. Well, better yet,
Katmai.
Yeah, Katmai, or you go to Kingfisher. Kingfisher still has a couple openings. Kingfisher charters, go catch it. So, but California, I don't think you.
No, maybe not down this far.
And you don't see a lot of salmon around here.
No,
do you?
no,
Yeah,
very,
just
very, very,
very rare.
Yeah.
There was that a few years back. I don't know that you were fishing back then, but I forget, when was that, Corey? It's probably 20 years ago.
In the 90s for sure.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
was it that? Oh, yeah, see, like 25, 30 years ago, where we had a
Salmon
few
on the
days
beach
where
and-
there was salmon everywhere.
There's a lot of
Kings.
silvers. Yeah.
Yeah. And kings around too. They're catching.
Hey, and I remember I had a good friend, Dave Morgan, telling me the story. He was fishing on the Producer a day and a half down the Colonette, and there were the years where we were catching king salmon.
Yes.
Like they were yo-yo and yellowtail, and up comes jumping a salmon on a 6X Junior. How about that?
Yeah.
Down of San Quintin.
Yeah.
It happens.
It happens. So you never know. Hey, John, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Appreciate that very much. I have a great texter from Dan and Pomona. He says, great show. Love the variety of topics on Let's Talk Hookup. Question for Joey. Can you give us some insight on what the quality of bait is looking like this season? And should a fisherman look like when selecting a bait from the well?
The quality of bait is excellent. The size of the anchovy that's there is all 4 or 5 inch fish. Beautiful green, cured up anchovy. The sardine, 6, 7 inch, awesome sardine. It's had time to cure. Everything's looking really good out there right now.
And so when you're on the, and you were a sport boat operator too, when you're selecting a bait out of the well on the sport boat or out of your tank, what do you look for?
I like a blonde. I like the blondes.
Okay, like the kind of ones with a little greenish
light
tint.
color blonde sardine. That's a good swimmer.
Has a little yellow on the bottom.
Yep, I like those ones. I like belly hooking baits, and if they don't swim, change your bait.
Yeah, I remember I was on a long range trip on the Royal Star, and this guy was just getting bit. I mean, he was just getting them, and I go, dude, what are you doing? He goes, see this one right here, and it was the blonde.
The blonde.
He goes, those are the ones you want, right?
How funny is that? That's typically a beach caught bait too, right?
Is it?
I mean, yeah, shallow water.
Happy baits.
Yeah. So what makes them have different colors? Is it the environment that they live in?
I'm not too sure. I want to say it's maybe a little bit with the oxygen too in the water changes them a little bit, but they're all different. They all have spots and scales, but
sure.
Their colors,
they're actually beautiful. I mean, if I can say
really
that,
cool
right?
looking,
amazing.
for sure.
And chovy is kind of easy to distinguish too. Like a beach caught chovy is that steely, cool green.
Yeah.
And the offshore could be like a purplish
purple.
blue.
Yeah, get that purple.
Does it now the hardiness of the bait? Does the color matter, or no? They're pretty much just
the water temperature is probably what's going to affect bait the most down here. So that's why typically end of August, September, you'll start to see stuff that maybe have a little rash or scab on it here and there, but it's just warm water.
It's warm water.
It's just, there's not much you can do about it for those hot, once that water gets over 70 degrees, less is more in your bait tank. Maybe take a little less, give them a little more room.
Such a good
That's
tip.
the key. Yeah.
And that's what's cool about having Joey in here. I mean, a sport guy gone commercial bait hauler, right? And that's the same thing as like John Pratt and a couple of the guys. Like with that sport knowledge and that sport background.
Yeah, I love fishing. I love, rod and reel fishing. I always have since a kid. And that's what drove the passion to start hauling bait.
That's cool. Well, Corey, you have a great text, huh?
There's a bunch of them coming through, and only done on the app, and all these messages coming through, and all for Joey, and it's super cool. And this one, it comes from Daniel in Santa Barbara. It says, good morning, gentlemen. Great show. Very good to hear from such an important person in our industry. Question for Joey. What's the best location for your fill on a bait tank? And so where the water would enter.
So I like the style where it's a vertical and it's coming out multiple holes and sending it a direction. You don't want a hard flow into your tank pushing a lot of water.
A solid stream.
You can swim your bait to death. If you have too much flow in a tank, it's pushing too hard. That fish is swimming harder every time. You'll swim them to death.
So the vertical kind of lines like a Pacific Edge
Yes,
tank or an
that's
offshore tank.
that's
Yeah,
the best tank. you
That's
can
why
put
Mark
on your boat,
Wish
pretty much.
has the knowledge
Yeah.
and knows exactly how to do
That
it.
is, it's by far the best tank you can put on your boat.
Period.
You know,
and all the work that goes into it. That's why they cost.
It's a science.
That's why there's a
it
weight.
really
Now, how
is.
do you guys fill your tanks?
On the bait boat itself,
Yeah.
we have a loading process.
I mean, how do you circulate the bait? I mean, is it
we have
one
two,
big pump or
no,
is
there's
it
two
splits?
7.5 horsepower pumps per tank.
Wow.
So it's a lot of flow, but the tanks are big.
Yeah. So you got to have a lot.
You
of
have
flow.
to have the flow. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a lot of movement.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of horse. It's a lot of water movement in there.
Yeah, for
Isn't that
sure.
crazy?
But they need it when you put how many scoops of bait in there?
You know, let's see.
In each tank.
It's say 40 lids of bait at 30 scoops a box is normally where
That's a
we're at
lot
with it.
for your load.
Yeah, for
the load. Hey, we're gonna have more when we return. If you're listening to us on 97.3 The Fan, turn on the app, our YouTube or Facebook Live. We're gonna be right back with Joey from Everyingham Brothers when we return on the Let's Talk Hookup app. My dear 1090, actually it's not 97.3 The Fan. We're gonna be right back. Let's Talk Hookup.
Hi, it's Ben. I want to tell you about a great event at my dad's shop, Dana Landing in Mission Bay. It's coming up on Saturday, May 10th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. We call it the Summer Kickoff Sale. Yeah, I know. It's not summer yet, but my dad, Johnny, Bubba, and everyone at Dana Landing, especially me, wish it was. So we celebrate a bit early with huge discounts on everything in the store. Some stuff is even 50% off. There will be several manufacturers, representatives, some amazing seminars by top anglers, and even my buddy Ron at Fastlane will have free kayak demos and stuff on sale. Rollo Kids will have a booth too, raising money to take kids like me fishing. And get this, there will be free food and drink too. Yum! So mark your calendar, Saturday, May 10th, the summer kickoff sale at Dana Landing, next to the Dana Launch Ramp at Mission Bay. The event is 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., but everything will be on sale up to 50% off all day. But don't take too much of his money. I need stuff too.
One Rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. Check out the new CalStar models now available, as well as upgrades to the classic rods that you know and love. If you want your tackle to be state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar at fine tackle dealers.
Hey everybody, this is Captain Dwayne Diego, 4-pack charter captain, here to talk to you about Parker boats and the good folks at West Coast Marine. When it came time to start pinnacle sport fishing and get my own boat, there was only one choice. I wanted a Parker. Then there's a real good reason for it: the fishability and seaworthiness. I've been fishing on Parkers for years now, and I know the abuse they can take. Parker Marine builds a heavy-duty industrial strength boat, probably overbuilt, but that's what I need when we're out 12 hours a day or 300 days a year running charters. The guys at West Coast Marine built me one heck of a fishing boat. From the custom tower with steering and throttle controls to the backup bait pump system, my Parker 2520 XLD will deliver me to the fishing grounds reliably and safe. Take it from me, if you're ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, honest deal, you need to see West Coast Marine, located at 1555 Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check them out and their inventory and information online at westcoastmarine.com.
Long range fishing, nothing beats Shimano. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Come check out the Shimano Talica, the pinnacle of lever drag 2-speed reels. The Talica features Shimano's Hagani body when throwing jigs. The Shimano Trinidad is your top choice. With the extreme cranking power and Shimano's Super Free Spool provides extreme castability. You'll be able to put your jig in the Wahoo zone. For all your Shimano needs, visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hardworking crew will make your fishing experience one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service sport fishing operation offering great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day trips on the spacious and comfortable 85-foot Liberty. With bunks for your comfort, a huge bait capacity, and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Fisherman's Landing also boasts the best captains and crews in the business, from seasoned veterans to our young future legends. All our open party trips, from half-day, full, or 1 to 3 day trips, can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Cory Sanden.
Welcome back. Hour number 2. Let's Talk Hookup right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app and YouTube and Facebook Live. Pete Gray here, along with Cory Sanden. Rock Cod Rick is on vacation this week. Well-deserved vacation with his family. And Joey Neves from Everyingham Bait Company. What a great show, and we want to thank Joey for taking the time off the boat today to come into the studio. You're probably back on the boat this afternoon, I'm guessing. Or do you get a day off?
Yeah, we're back to fishing. We just finished our repower, and
Okay.
we're going to go test everything out right now and get the season going.
Get it rolling.
Yep.
So, yeah, boy, great time here. Just a ton of questions. And Cory, we're giving away a great prize too.
I know, it's so cool. Giving away an overnight trip out of Fisherman's Landing. So that would be for any open party trip available through Fisherman's Landing. You could book through the year there. And we're giving away that one overnight trip to a lucky caller or texter. And the first hour this morning on Saturdays is only on the caller side, but the second hour is only texting. So
Yeah,
you
texting.
want to make sure you send your text via the app and send us messages. And it's truly an honor to have Joey Neves in here from Everyingham Bait
sure.
Company, man.
Thanks
It's
for
so
having me.
cool and just having a great show. So do you want to jump into the text, or what do you?
Yeah, well, actually, it's time for the catch report today.
Oh, we got Mark Wish.
Captain
Yeah,
Mark
there it is
Wish.
right there.
Fishdope.com
Talking about
report.
Right? Talking about bait, and, the best bait tanks in the world. And here it is. The catch report is sponsored by the Fish Pros of Fisherman's Processing in San Diego, where you get your premier processing experience. Check out the easier online system to book your processing for your long-range trips. And with more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest. More same-day capacity and the finest customer service. Stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street, or you can check them out at fishermansprocessing.com and make your reservations today. And having
They're
Mark
going to be busy now.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah, for sure. Good morning, Captain Mark.
Good morning, Mark.
Hey, Pete, Cory, Joey, great show. Fantastic info. And thanks for the kudos on the bait tank stuff. I really appreciate it there.
Yeah, those things are great.
Thanks, man. Thanks for all the hard work keeping us supplied, man. That's a project.
Yeah.
But, hey, guys, this was a really good week for the more savvy private boat guys out there. You know, we kind of struggled there for a long stretch of a winter, and it looks like we're rolling into springtime. And with this nice weather and better conditions, there's some great catches in some areas, and then, you know, not so much in others. That's just the way of the world. But let's dig in a little bit here. So up north, you know, Santa Rosa, Santa Cruz, those guys up there scrounging around. There were some real worthy scores on halibut and sea bass both. Squid's always a top choice for both of those. But now those guys up there have perfected the art of fishing those white flukes for both the species. You know, the halibut, they're just all over those, and the sea bass too. And I was talking to a friend of mine about fishing Catalina with those, and he just said, I worked at Crowder all night for squid. I don't want my guys fishing flukes. So
yeah, it's hard work.
Yeah. But I'm sure they'd probably work here. Out there at San Nicolas, lots of cods, but no words on exotic. Didn't get too much coverage, but it's really nice weather now. Same thing at SBI, man. Really good weather. We've seen some good sea bass fishing there. Kind of crowded sometimes, but it's not real consistent. You know, they bite a day or two and quit a couple, so that's just the way of the world there. Nice halibuts up there and lots of cods, of course. And then great weather at both those islands, which is really nice now. And then there's Catalina. This is where it gets interesting, guys. seen a major uptick in a sea bass situation. Started really 2 weeks ago. A bunch of new fish moved in here, it looks like this week. And most of the stock spots, scattered up the back for the most part, although I'm sure there's fish on the front. Just nobody is into that so much, except me maybe. But east to west there's fish on almost all the spots. A lot of opportunity there. And it's mixed grade. Some of the schoolie size fish, 10 to 15 pounders. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. And but a heavy sprinkle of real tanker grade fish, 50 plus. Heard a lot about 50-pound plus fish this week. Best one was 58. And if you want a shot at landing that big fish, do not be fiddling around with that light tackle crap. It just don't work on the big ones when you're on the edge of the kelp lines. Just fish the heavy gear, 30 pounds a minimum, 40's better. And make sure everything is perfect, because God, there's a lot of big ones here. So for fishing that sea bass, there's typically 3 styles of fishing. We love to fish those shallow beaches, the little edges, and right on the shoreline there, 3, 4, 5 fathoms like that. And then the edge of the kelp lines and deeper structure where it might be 8 to 12, 15 fathoms. And then out there on the bait grounds where you're catching your squid, 16 to 22 fathoms like that. And this week there was fish on all of those types of structure. Some of that up shallow, some kelp line fish, and then some fish in the dark on the bait grounds. And also out there on the bait grounds, we got a new player showing up there, man. There was a couple nice big grade yellowtail caught, tanker grade 30 pounders on the bait grounds, as well as some of that really good halibut out there in the deeper water.
Sweet.
16, 17 fathoms like that. So, God, Catalina just, it struggled there for a while. And like I said, in the last 2 weeks, it's really come around. And this last week showed some excellent promise. And can't wait to get over there and start fishing some of that sea bass. I love to fish that front side. Most guys are scared to death of it. I love it because there's nobody around and a lot of fish there usually. And San Clemente Island got looked at. Man, it's still twilight zone. That whole backside was scoured by someone that really knows the island, and they caught nothing. And then, of course, what Frank was talking up earlier about that bluefin showing up down there in one-day range. God, how exciting is that? Flat calm weather and biting fish in one-day range. So what a hell of a good week.
Yeah, what a great start. It's on, Mark.
Right,
It's
it's
on.
happening.
And, of course, fishdope.com. Now is the critical time to have fishdope.com. $30 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code HOOKUPNOW. Lowercase, no space, HOOKUPNOW is your $30 code. And, Mark, how do we find you?
OP, we're in Huntington Beach. We're on the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger. And phone number at the store is area code 714-840-4262. The website, PacificEdgeTackle.com. And I got to tell you guys, you've heard that old phrase, a picture's worth 1,000 words. I got a picture yesterday morning. It just, holy crap, 10,000 words worth of some Catalina fish. Yeah, it's getting really good, guys.
It's a big
Time
one,
to go
huh?
fishing.
A big one. We got to love those. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if you're saying that definitely excites
then
me.
it's happening. Yeah.
Right.
Go catch a big one. Hey, thanks, Mark. Appreciate that very much. And we will talk to you next Saturday with more good news, I hope.
You got it, buddy.
All right.
We'll talk to you guys next week.
All
We'll see
right.
you.
Sounds good.
That's an
That
awesome
wraps
report,
up
man.
it's so great to come in on Saturday morning
Yeah.
and see all this going on right now.
Fish
right?
are biting.
Bluefin are biting.
And you know what the deal? Look at the weather. I mean, we're
I know,
finally getting some
finally.
decent
Yeah.
weather. I mean, you fight it all the
Yep.
time, right? With
We
the
get
weather.
a little bit more weather like this, and it's on.
Yeah. So speaking of which, when the weather's up, is it a lot harder to catch bait?
It is. It's harder. That fishing that shallow water, it really doesn't give you a clear picture on your sonar.
Yeah.
And it makes things tough. If we're fishing shallow and the swell's up or the wind is up, it makes it a lot more dangerous to push you on the beach. We're right outside that surf line a lot of the time. So
Okay, so what's shallow to you?
a fathom. I mean, we had to
6
replace
feet?
the whole rudder shoe on the rival one year from bouncing bottom setting so shallow.
So how do you
Pete,
how do you
surfers-
set in 6 feet of water with a net that goes down 300 feet.
Yeah, you have to do it very precisely, carefully, or you're
Yeah.
going to be there a while.
Yeah.
The surfers are not too shallow.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Put it that way.
That's pretty amazing.
I mean,
Amazing.
we'll set in there so shallow that we'll let the skiff go. I'll look back and you just see mud kicking up behind the boat.
Whoa.
That's a 110-foot boat. We're not in there in a small boat.
No. You ever wrap a surfer?
Nope.
You haven't done that yet?
You got to wait till they catch their set waves and then you get in.
You get in.
That is hilarious. But the truth.
Yeah. You have a good text.
I do. There's a bunch of them coming through. And this one comes from James in La Jolla. Thank you, James. And it says, guys, fascinating show. I always love to leave a nice tip and get really excited when I have the bait loaded up from the receivers. What's happening with the bait this year? And we've already answered a couple of those, right? But everyone seemed resigned to fish anchovies, but it now appears the sardines are around again. And really mean it when I say I appreciate you bait haulers. Where can I pick up a shirt or a hat? And I've seen a few around and love to make merchandise or love some of the merchandise.
Merch stuff, baitbarge.com. The company's got their website or Facebook. I think you can do all the orders or
you can buy it right online.
Day at the docks.
Yeah, Day at the docks. Were you there?
I did. I came down.
Came down.
Yeah, I brought my oldest daughter down. We cruised around for a while.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's always a good time.
Yeah, what a great successful day at the docks.
It was a good turnout.
Fantastic tournament. And Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea did a fantastic, raised a lot of money to take kids fishing. I know all the vendors there, like Fisherman's Landing, did great. Costa, the whole group did it was a big day.
Yeah, it was good.
Thanks for coming by the Let's Talk Hookup booth too.
It's a free event, man.
It's a great event.
Pretty cool.
Let's hope we can keep it going.
Yes.
Yeah. And thanks to Frank at H&M Landing for really making that happen this year, because he's the guy
cool is that
really made it happen.
And Rock Hot Rick was mentioning that when he called in from the beginning that morning, right? Last week, and he was giving huge thanks to the new crew running it, you know, and it's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
And not that it was bad, it's more into like Rock Hot Rick said, it's less face painting and more sport fishing,
more real deal fishing.
Yes.
Like the Everyingham brothers.
Yeah.
I know how cool.
Yeah, and I know Baker Marine sold a whole bunch of gyro stabilized binoculars of Fujinons and stuff. You guys use gyros on the boat?
We don't. I mean, I'd love to have
You wish you had,
pair.
right?
I have a pair of Bakers that I've had for years, and they do amazing.
7x50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They are amazing.
Yeah, but nice to have a gyro on that boat.
It would be.
Yeah.
It'd be real nice.
Come on, Buck.
I don't know if they want to pay for it.
Yeah, for sure.
You can see from turning left at the jetties at the point and actually see the turns diving.
You can check Tijuana from clearing the jetty if
right?
you wanted
That's
to.
right.
How crazy.
Hey, I have a great text here from Jack Ramon. It says, fantastic show this morning. Does the water quality near the coast around Imperial Beach or TJ impact the ability to catch bait? In other words, like we hear about the sewage bills that close the beaches and does that impact you?
They like it.
They like it.
They like eating those little
whatever's in
whatever
it is.
They love the river mouth down there. We hate it.
Yeah,
it
I bet it stinks.
My guys are complaining every time we're down there.
Yeah.
If they're taking a quick nap and they wake up in Tijuana, they're looking at me like, come on.
Oh. Now you have to fish on this side of the border, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the key.
And there's a lot of times we'll have the seiners from below the point and we'll be fishing almost cork to cork with those guys.
You mean below the border?
Yeah.
The Mexican
guys
seiner.
from Ensenada or what?
Yeah, they're hauling bait. Normally if we're seeing them, things aren't very good for them if they're all the way up here. But yeah, we set real close. If we see them there and I have a school there, I'll go set it on purpose.
Right.
This is,
and try to push it over or whatever you got going on.
Yeah, we're here too.
Yeah.
You stay that side, we'll stay on this side. Everything's
and
good.
that happens.
But if they're up here, they're having a tough time. But the fish love it there. They like that river.
Yeah.
And there's that one section. It's like the river mouth north. It's like a shallower area.
Yeah.
And right. And from the river mouth to like the border, really, it's like a deeper depression. And they just love that zone.
They really love it down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a good text.
There's so many coming through. It's really cool. Yeah. And this one comes from John Amira Mesa. And he says, there's been times when I'd be fishing at the beach in Torrey early before sunrise, and I'd see a bait boat close to the shore just outside the breakers. Is that scenario, are you typically fishing chovy or sardine?
If we're on the beach, we're typically fishing sardine, but that chovy does move in. The sardine doesn't like it. If the chovy moves in heavy, it'll push that sardine out. That's what's been going on kind of lately. That's chovy came in real heavy and it pushed the dean out, but it'll settle back in. But you're seeing us up at Cory, we're probably not too happy because down here below the point is our bread and butter.
Yeah.
And if we're having to burn the fuel to run up to Cory,
and not only burning the fuel, Joey, but that adds an extra 4 to 6 hours on your day.
We're an 8-knot boat, so we're going nowhere.
And
we're going everywhere very slow.
And if you're running, there are times where, like you said, you've got to go to Huntington Beach or
Newport or
Catalina.
Yeah.
And I know from being there, and I can attest to it, a trip to Dana Point, like off the bank there, catching chovy, you could get there, make an immediate set, load the boat immediately.
Yep.
And it's a 22 to 24 hour day.
Yeah.
That's an entire day.
The days that we've had to run up to Newport or Huntington from down here, by the time you get up there, haul, come back down, unload, you probably got 4 hours to go home and do whatever you need to do and get back to the boat. And we're running right back.
Here's two bait haulers like talking, sharing beverages and talking. When I started there for 6 months, check this out. We ran to Dana Point and Newport. We did not have a day off.
Yeah.
John Pratt could tell you, Jerry could tell you. We literally did not have a day off for 6 months, and it was a 22 to 24 hour round trip. Most times they had to bring groceries to the receivers.
Yeah. Yep.
Seriously.
Or send a guy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
It's nonstop. Summertime. The last couple of years have been pretty good, but it's not uncommon for us to have 60, 70-day stretches, no days off.
Here's the other extreme, Joey. That here we are tipping beverages together again. When I started, I pulled net Lampara by hand. Okay, and I did it with John Pratt and Jerry Majors. Okay, and here's the other extreme.
What's a Lampara?
Lampara? It's a different net than a seiner. So seiner's a completely different net. Lampara has wings, and then it's got a sack at the other end of the wings. And so you pull the wings and try to keep the bait in the sack region. Or
so it's not a purse.
Yeah, you're setting more of a
horseshoe
than a circle.
I see.
We're like a round seiner where they're pulling the wings, everything back to the boat, and then you're left with the bag there.
And the net you're setting is basically the same net that they net tuna with, right?
Yeah, smaller mesh, 9/16, real small mesh. Yeah. It's no knots in the webbing, so it's real smooth, easy on the bait.
That's the idea. Take care of the bait.
Yeah.
Here's the other extreme of the long days. We would set with a Lampara right outside of Ballast Point, load the Evco, and from an hour from the time we left the dock, we'd be unloading at the receivers.
Wow.
I
wish.
Right? I know that's why I brought the other
same.
extreme.
Yep. There's a lot of days where we have to drive over a lot of sardine coming out of the bay.
Because you're not allowed to set in the bay?
Nope.
No,
we can't set in there. They love it in there. And if it's piled in the bay like it has been, it just moved out again. But when it's in the bay, it's normally not below the point. So you have to look at it the whole way out of the harbor and then start looking when you get out there. It can be
and
frustrating.
Probably the other frustrating thing too is that when you're down south, if it's over the line, if it's over in Mexico, you're looking at it.
Bird schools banging on bait. And you're going,
and you can't touch it.
Yep.
Hey, this isn't necessarily related, but it is to our subject matter today. But it's from Nick in La Jolla, and he says, Hi, my son and I love listening to your show every weekend. What is your recommendation for getting a young fisher experienced to transitioning into longer trips, half day, full day, overnight? My son's 5 and he's obsessed with fishing. So you used to run a sport boat.
No, I never ran a sport boat. I always fished them and love fishing.
Yeah. I'm sure you grew up in a family. How old were you when you started?
Started fishing, just for fun. I met my dad or my grandfather used to take me down to Boozalaki's down there and just fish off the dock. I was teeny tiny. So since as long as I can remember, I've had a fishing rod in my hands.
I think I started when I was 5 or 6, something like that.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of just start him on a half day boat and when he gets comfortable on the water, half day fishing, You could even take them to one of the local lakes or something like that
Yeah.
that plants trout and stuff. Just get them into fishing, but then transition into the half day boats. But the most important thing is just make sure you pick the right conditions. There's so many good weather apps today.
Yes.
You know exactly what the weather is going to be like. You don't want to take them out there on a day when it's bad. I remember when I was a kid, I spent a lot of time at the rail when I was younger, but I still went and I wanted to go again, but it's just a matter of getting over that. But if you start them out, pick the good days of weather, and then like right now it's rockfish season, and then move up as he gets older to the longer trips, a 3/4 day trip, then a full day trip.
Make it fun.
Make it fun. For him.
Half day is a good place to start.
Good place to start.
You're in and out, and it's a good time.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good half day boats. The Dolphin here out of Fisherman's Landing, of course.
Guys are the best.
Fred out of the Daily Double at Point Loma Sport Fishing, and of course New Seaforth out of Seaforth Sport Fishing.
They love kids on the boat, man. If you're fishing with Shorty or Brian on the New Seaforth, or here out of Fisherman's, or Fred loves children. He's mentioned it on here.
Absolutely.
He loves kids.
So
bring them out.
Take them fishing for sure. Go one of the half day boats, and again, just watch the weather. Check the weather apps. We have a lot of links on our website, letstalkhookup.com. A lot of weather app links. Look at windy. Make sure the wind's down, and get them out on the water. Definitely.
It's a good
Corey,
one.
you have a good one, huh?
I do, for sure, Pete. Good morning, boys. What a great topic. Question for Joey. Do you ever get a look at the bait and not decide to take it because of the size? And that comes from Mark in Laquita, and he says, thank you.
Yep. We, if you're looking for sardine, you may make a haul and it's chovy, and you dump it, you let it go. Or if it's not the size you're looking for, if it just acts bad, sometimes the conditions are out of your control. So if the littlest thing with the bait can freak it out, and if you know that load's not going to turn out well, you typically let it go and try again.
Like if it's not going to work out.
If it doesn't look good, we just won't load it. But for the most part, we're real delicate and know how to take care of that stuff and bring it in, best of our ability.
And I know it's something that Buck Everingham holds very tight and close, the loading procedure, and it's a trade secret, really. And it's so important to mention this, though, because it's so unique. And every bait boat up and down the coast, when they load, they use a braille, and they have to get that bait so tight, and the bait
scaling up at that point.
Yes. And the braille goes in, and it's not knocking it. It's not like it's the only way they can do it. And they put the braille, it's a monster scoop that holds 200 scoops or whatever it might be. And they have to get the bait tight enough in their sack that they can actually put the braille into the sack.
And they don't like it.
And it's happening. It might take them 20 minutes to load.
Yeah. I think Mark and Paul up there just went to a fish pump style that they're having really good luck with.
Oh, okay.
On their San Pedro Bait Company.
On their new boat.
Now, do you communicate a lot with the other bait companies?
We will. James and Jimmy up in Oceanside. We talk a lot with them. John, being that he's up in Dana Point, most of the time. John Pratt. He talks to those guys a lot. We'll bounce stuff off. I mean, you'd be surprised on how quick something will show up down here, and then within a day or two, it's up in Oceanside, or vice versa. Hey, James, said they got sardine yesterday, and this depth, at this time of the day, and normally you'll start looking, or maybe you haven't been checking that depth and stuff. We always, if you're hurting or need some info,
you share.
Yeah.
You share. That's
and the
cool.
biomass travels that quick too.
It's really quick. I mean, you can have epic fishing today and
gone
go out tomorrow. Yep, it's gone.
Yeah, for sure. Good news on the front of the sand bass situation.
Okay.
The California Fish and Game Commission approved a 4-fish limit for 3 years this past Thursday, and it was the narrowest of margins, 2-1. I guess there were only 3 commissioners present. Maybe the other ones didn't want to vote because they were afraid or something. But anyway, so 4-fish limit for sand bass has been approved for 3 years. And I want to throw out a huge thank you
to Ken Frankie at the Sport Fishing Association of California, to all the guys at CCA California, Tony and Chris, and of course Wayne was there, I'm sure too, and the sport boat captains, Captain Fred from the Daily Double. I know a lot of the sport boat captains went up to Sacramento to comment, or they participated in the process that we talked about extensively about last weekend. But thank you all to all the people that went out and supported that, because the other side was there too, and we won by the narrowest of margins.
Isn't that
That's great news.
It's justice. You know what?
Yeah.
It's the right thing, and there's not the issues that they were trying to make. And fortunately, thank you, commissioners, that voted for the right thing to do and the real science.
And fair too, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's good, like you said, for both sides. Now, within that 3 years, Pete, could that be intervened and be?
I think when they make a decision,
It's set.
that's the decision.
Okay.
3 years goes fast though, because
That's true.
So yeah, that's why you have to be a part of CCA California to fight that fight that we do every single day. And speaking of which, we have the big dinner coming up May 1st to honor Dave Pfeiffer. So there's still tickets available for that. The CCA California San Diego chapter, May 17th.
Nobody wants to miss that one.
Well,
Come on.
It's important that the apps and taps, it's good. But your local chapter, support your local chapter.
Pete, you just glazed over it. I got to say it. Pete's being honored.
Yeah, well,
okay, on May 17th. And how do we get our tickets, Pete?
ccacalifornia.org.
Okay.
There's the events tab on ccacalifornia.org, and you can just buy tickets. And for the event, the big dinner and the Anthony Shea Award for Dave Pfeiffer, for the apps and taps on the 17th, or any of the events at CCA. But this is an example of why it's so important to support CCA California. CCA California Sport Fishing Association do a lot for the Everingham brothers too, right?
Yeah.
And keeping
Zach, Ken Frankie, that there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes here, and without those guys, making it possible, it'd be really tough.
It'd be kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
And it's so hard, Joey. Like, people don't understand. I think back to like the Cannery Row era and the sardines, and they said they fished them out, and it just. And I always think in my heart, there's no way they could ever fish them out, right?
It's all cycles. Everything's a cycle.
Joey, you said the key word right there.
Yep.
Cycles.
Yep.
Hey, tuna cycle.
Yep.
Right.
Chovy and sardine cycle.
It's all the same. They're all have tails. They're moving, and
I've mentioned it on air before, and your defense, right, on air, and chovy and sardine do not mix.
Nope.
Like there's one population that dominates over the other. Like
they don't mix together.
Occasionally you'll get mixed schools, but if that chovy moves in heavy like it did a couple months ago, if it hits the coast hard, it pushes that sardine out.
And where does the sardine go?
And
deep water?
Maybe deep water, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
And you can't
bust
catch
up those schools, and you can catch it out there. It just makes it more difficult.
Yeah.
But that chovy will take over, and until it pushes back out or moves up or down the coast, everything will settle back in.
Yeah, for sure.
Such a bizarre thing.
Well, let's head up to the Eastern Sierra right now and talk to our friend Ryan Dorfer and Venture and Company. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Hey, doing terrific. Big weekend, 1 week from today, the Eastern Sierra Trout Opener, right?
Yep, 1 week from today. It's a beautiful day today. And the extended forecast is looking nice. So I think we're in for a great opener. Lakes are looking good. And I think they're stocking fish. I know Crowley got a bunch of fish, so it should be a great time.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, what about Adventure and Camping? Do you still have some availability for your campers for the opener or the few weeks after?
We do. It's going fast. We're down to the last few. I just checked the openings this morning before I came on the show, and we do still have a couple of our smaller units. Be good for just one or two people, but we do still have a couple of big bunkhouse models open. But I don't expect those to last. I think people kind of wait till the last minute this time of year and kind of see how the weather is, and then decide. So I'm sure those will book up this week. But yeah, and then I got to tell you, after opener, things kind of open up a little bit, and that's a good time to come up. So if you're, you're not sure you want to come up for opening weekend, the first couple weeks of May can be great.
Yeah, well, no doubt about it. Now, what's the weather forecast for the opener? Have you looked?
It's going to be a little chilly, but no, doesn't look like any rain or snow. But just maybe partly cloudy with some of that crisp morning air and beautiful sunshine in the afternoon.
Perfect trout fishing conditions. And so, describe for our listeners what adventure and camping is for those that may not be familiar with it.
So, if you love to camp like we do, but you don't like to set everything up, or you don't want to drive your trailer or your motorhome up from Southern California, what we do is we have a fleet of travel trailers. We take those out for you. You tell us where you want to camp. We service from Bishop north to June Lake and Lee Vining. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up the trailer of your choice in the campsite that you choose. We're going to set everything up, show you how it works. You're going to enjoy your stay. You don't have to worry about doing anything, setting anything up. And then when you're done, we're going to come pick it up and take it away.
Wow. Couldn't be simpler than that. And I see these people driving down the highway with these towing these big motorhomes or driving these big motorhomes.
Can you imagine going up to 395?
White knuckling up there.
Oh,
the stress and everything.
No.
It's like if you want a stress-free camping vacation, adventure and camping is the key, because you don't have to do any of the setup. And the work just begins when you get there, right? I mean, Joey's like, been there,
Sounds like
done
you're
that,
doing all
right?
the work for him.
Yeah,
Sounds real nice.
So basically, you just show up, enjoy your camper, and then when you leave, you throw the keys on the dash and
lock it up and leave.
That's awesome.
That's it. Yep.
It couldn't be
And
better.
We're going to make it as simple as we can.
Yeah, and you have campers that accommodate two up to like a whole family, right?
Yeah, so we have some smaller models that'll be good for two people or maybe a couple with some small kids, all the way up to some that'll sleep 7 or 8. So if you got a big group of guys that want to come up for the weekend, we have some that big bunkhouse models that would accommodate that, and we can do everything from just your basic camp setup all the way up to some of the trailers that come with a griddle. We're gonna give you your firewood for your campfire, your camp mat, your chairs, your table. So really all you're bringing is just your bedding and your food, and you're ready to go.
Wow, fantastic. And you can do it all online at adventureandcamping.com, right?
That's correct. So if you go to adventureandcamping.com, we have a pretty interactive website. You can see all the different models we have, the campgrounds that we serve. And if you're not sure where to start, you can either email or call the office. Shannon's really good about getting back to you and answering any questions you have. If you're a first timer up here, you've never been to the area, we're going to give you some suggestions on where to start and get you out there camping.
All right. So once again, adventureandcamping.com. The season is on. Book your opener, or anything in the summer all the way through September, October is a great time too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to go through mid-October. And for your listeners that are new to adventuring camping, we're going to give those folks 20% off.
20% off for new adventure and camping people for Let's Talk Hookup people. Just mention Let's Talk Hookup. Yeah.
That's it.
What if you're booking online? How do you do that?
So I'm making a note in the comment section, and then Shannon's gonna get back to you and talk to you about your reservation, and just mention it. She'll go back and forth with you on email or phone, and real easy. We make it super easy to book your trailer and get you fishing. Fishing, hiking, mountain biking, whatever you want to do up here. Our goal is to make it to where you have more fun. We're going to do the setup for you.
That sounds perfect. And from Bishop all the way up to June Lake, the entire area, that's a lot of campsites for sure.
Yeah, you have a lot to choose from. So if you're not familiar with the area, or maybe you have your favorite spot and you're not sure where else to go, if you go on our website and click on the campgrounds link, it lists all the campgrounds we service, whether or not those are reservable, how you can contact those individual RV parks or campgrounds if you need to talk to them about something. But Shannon's really good about answering all those questions too. So she's in the office right now Monday through Friday. And then once we get kicked off for opening weekend, you can contact us 7 days a week.
All right. Adventureandcamping.com. Ryan Dorr, thank you very much. And we'll talk to you real soon.
That sounds great.
All
I
right.
look forward to it.
Appreciate
Man,
you.
an adventure in camping. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, hey, what a fun family outing for the summer, right?
Yeah,
Joey?
sounds like a really good time.
Right?
Simple.
It's super simple.
Way better than staying in a hotel.
Just show up and have a good time.
Yeah,
Right?
gotta love it.
I know. I love it too. Hey, we're going to be right back. More from Joey Neves when we return, and Everyingham Brothers. And a huge shout out to Buck for allowing us
Yeah,
too, right?
yeah, definitely.
Right. Hey, we're going to be right back. You're listening to us on the Let's Talk Hookup app and YouTube and Facebook Live.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find a location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
Hi, this is Captain Ray Lopez, owner-operator of the American Angler. I've spent more than half my life aboard the American Angler along with my partners Brian and Lori, developing a team that's as good as it gets. I've been fortunate to spend time on the ocean with so many fine people that I look forward to fishing with. We can't thank you enough for being part of the American Angler family, and if you haven't joined us, we love the opportunity to meet you. Text or call Lori at 619-223-5414 or check AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com.
Hey, it's time to talk about great gear from Shimano. And, I was just with my buddy Mark Wheeler from Encinitas Ford, and he just picked up a brand new Talica 16A.
Oh.
What a beautiful reel that is. And you talk about power, the difference between Talica 2-speed and the Talica 2-speed A. They're both amazing reels, but they've just made the perfect reel even better. More free spool, more drag, smaller, fits more in your palm of your hand, but yet holds the same amount of capacity.
And Pete, the Bluefin are biting.
They're biting.
It's time.
It's time. So Talica A now comes in 12, 16, 20, and 25. So check it out at your local Shimano dealer, the new Talica series, the Talica A series from Shimano. Take a closer look at the Ford F-150. You'll see hard work, a great adventure, and so much more. Inside and out, it's designed for the family, the road trip, and the most demanding job. The 2025 Ford F-150, whether it's gas, hybrid, or all-electric, to meet your needs. From California's best-selling truck brand, it's time to see Ford in a new light. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealer today to see the great selection across the full truck lineup.
The lighter the bite and the cleaner the water means one thing. Need a thinner leader, more natural presentations. That's where Seaguar Gold Label leader material shines. It's Seaguar's thinnest leader material yet. That means it's even less visible underwater and creates more natural presentations for better catch rates on leader-shy fish. With exceptional knot and tinsel strength, this advanced leader material is now available from 2-pound test for fishing trout in the Sierra to 80-pound test for big yellowfin in Guadalupe. Get Seaguar Gold Label at your favorite tackle dealer or learn more at seaguar.com.
All right. Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup and having so
What a
much
great
fun.
show.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
You
really
know.
great. And thank you, and Buck and the whole entire Everyingham Brothers team for coming on. There's a lot of people, maybe there's some controversy or something, but there should be no controversy. You should just bow down and be grateful to these guys, as I am. And when I go to the receiver and I see the guys at the receiver, they're such good people scooping your bait. Thank them. Bring them some food or something like that, some treats, and make sure you tip them too.
Yeah,
those guys work their butts off.
Yeah, they work 5/12s. They're working 60-hour weeks.
Wow.
So day or night, they're
And
out there.
living there.
Yeah, pretty
Living
much.
on the
You're
barge.
spending half your life out there.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
them.
you did that.
I did it for years.
So that was a part of your step of getting to
I
the
started.
boat?
Yeah, I started in Mission Bay and went to San Diego and did days, did nights, but it's 5/12s.
Yeah.
365 days a year.
What's the harder job? Working the bait receiver or running the boat?
Oh, I mean, the stress levels and everything else running the boat
It's tough.
unbelievable. But I mean, then those guys have their hands full out there. They have to manage that bait and deal with us.
Yeah.
We're not happy. They're having a rough day.
Yeah, dealing with the public.
Yeah.
And Pete too, like long range fishermen, I mean, the guys that work the long range, Brian Kiyahara, Tim Ekstrom, the whole crew, they've got tough lives. I mean, they're out for who knows how many days, but it's structured. And you look at these guys, the bait haulers, they're working equal amount of days, but I'm telling you, and I know from experience, the most screwed part of the whole damn thing, Pete, is you don't know your hours.
Nope.
You cannot
Can't
plan a life.
Yeah, you cannot plan anything.
They cannot plan a life. I'm telling you.
On your job, for sure.
Yeah. If you typically in the summer, if you plan something, you're going to have a long day.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, like we mentioned earlier.
Like you can't buy tickets to the Padres. Hey,
No,
I think I'm going to go to
you're
the
not
Padres.
gonna make it. You won't make it back to the dock.
Yeah.
But I mention this because Joey's too humble to mention it. And it's important for our listeners in the sport fleet to know that. I mean, I'm sticking up for John Pratt, Buck Everingham, and Jerry Majors and your crew in that whole mention.
Yep. And we're out there, we're trying to catch the best bait possible every day and get it in there and keep this whole thing rolling.
Yeah. So what are your stresses? You talk about the stresses. Is it the finding the bait and or setting in the shallow water, or what are the different
It's a little
stresses?
bit of everything. It's really conditions depending. You know, you could do everything right and have a sea lion come up, swim under the bag and blow bubbles and freak that bait right out. And you're watching it, all your hard
just
work
goes
scale and go to,
go to crap.
Yeah, pretty
right
much.
in front of you.
Yeah. So it's fighting the conditions, and if you have swell and you're the fish is shallow, and it's just you got to be real careful.
Bringing that big boat in on a swell
You be real
into shallow
careful.
water, you
Yep.
got to really watch those.
Everything has to go right. You know,
Yeah.
for a good day, hauling bait, everything has to go right.
And then setting a net that goes down 300 feet in 10
you're-
feet of
you're
water.
committed. Once you let go of that skiff, you're
you
committed.
have to really be on it. Huh?
Yeah. Yep.
That's a lot of stress.
It's
because if you hang that net and you wreck the net, what's that cost?
A lot of
time,
hours.
a lot of time. And we do all the maintenance and everything on
So you
those
have to,
things.
like,
So you're going to be
re-sew
on the
the net? Is that
you're,
what it-
you're sewing. You might be putting in patches or
Days worth of stuff.
and your crew's not happy.
Yeah.
The barge guys aren't happy because you're not unloading. And so it's the littlest thing. You know, it doesn't take much for a sanded down lobster trap to put a 50, 60 fathom hole in your net.
Oh.
And then you're on the dock sewing in the middle of the sun, and then you're got to be back out that night. So it's the littlest thing can really flip your day around.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, great questions here from Jason in Point Loma. He says, "Good morning, gentlemen. So cool having Joe on the show. Talking about learning about bait. This is an awesome question. How many people does it take to run the operation, and can you pull up in a kayak to the bait barge?"
You
So-
can pull up to the
Yeah.
kayak. They have a kayak scoop. They can sell you
And they'll
a
sell you
small amount of bait.
The small bait, yeah. How many people on your
So
your
on our
boat?
boat, there's 4. There's myself and 3 crew members.
And that's the name of your boat?
The Rival.
The Rival.
And that's all boats are 4 guys typically.
4 guys.
Occasionally we'll bring an extra guy if we have one. But
And what are the jobs of each of those 4 guys?
you have a skiff man he's in the skiff, and he's the guy that you'll see on the receiver unloading on the deck of the receiver.
Uh-huh.
And then you have a spool guy who's running the hydraulics, and you have a guy on the winch. So
Okay.
everyone's split
And
up.
then you
Everyone's
in the-
got
in
their
the-
job. Yeah, and I'll
you
be in
in
the
behind the
wheelhouse.
wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got, I mean, all those 4 guys, Pete, think about it. They all have to know how to do everybody's job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you got to stand in at any
It only
minute.
takes one guy to screw everything up. So if you got a guy that's not, have focused and paying attention, it can throw everything off.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's 4 guys running that whole darn thing, Pete.
4 guys.
Right?
Pretty amazing.
I know it. And to get it loaded on the boat and get to the receivers and unload it.
Yeah.
and it's a talent.
It is. It takes a lot to get good quality bait in the receiver. You
That's
can
a
go out
talent
and
part.
set it and slam it on the boat and put it in a receiver, but it's not going to go well. So to do it all to where you get the quality product it takes a lot.
And I think that's why it's important, like coming from, I know John Pratt coming from a sport fishing background.
Yeah.
And
It helps.
you as well, but also working on the receiver. I did the same thing.
Yep.
Like you understand
Learn a lot.
what's wrong and right on the receiver,
Yep.
and you can correct it or do right on the boat, knowing it's going to be better in the receiver.
And that's part of those guys are doing a really important job, and it's working with us. If we know that something happened during a load, it might not be as good a quality as it needs to be, then we'll let those guys know, and they'll they'll mark it and try to put an extra couple days on it before they turn around and
Let it
sell
settle down.
Yeah, it's we all have to work together, because if they send something like that out right away, then it could ruin someone's trip. And so everyone's working together. There's, I think, over 50 people working for the company, between the receivers, the guys doing maintenance, building the wire cages, and maintaining the boxes. And
it's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
A lot. So, the management part of it and the books and everything.
Yep.
So how does one become on the boat like you? Do you start on the receiver and then you get promoted to being on the boat?
You don't have to. It helps because you learn the operation. You'll learn how to unload bait. You're going to learn the minor things that you won't have to teach them once they're on the boat, and then you can see how dedicated someone is as well.
Yeah,
it takes a special person, man.
So the guy on the receiver may not be the guy you're looking for on the boat.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta want to kiss your summer goodbye. You're going to work every day.
Kiss your life goodbye.
You're not going to make plans. You're not going to,
Can't
call
go to the
me
Padre
in the middle
game.
of August and say, "Hey, my wife booked these tickets. We're going for 3 days." Well, no, you're not.
Yeah.
We're fishing. So
yeah,
it takes.
So
a
when do you
special
take
person.
your vacation?
We just got back. Actually, we take a month off every year. Each boat takes a month off. We took March, so we came out of the shipyard after our repower and took our month, and now we're back.
And Pete, wrap your mind around that. They take a month off, which is awesome and cool, but it's January, February, and March.
Yeah, it's
The
not.
worst
It's not.
months
It's
of
not
the
a
year.
sweet month that you're taking off. It's typically raining and not the best weather.
Yeah, it's a tough job.
Fishing,
So I'm just trying to say, guys out there, be grateful to Joey and his crew out there. Hear that sonar clicking in the
I hear
background?
it.
That's Mike on the tribute. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going?
Doing great. We're talking bait. We're praising the Everyingham brothers, which I know you do every day.
Yeah, we got some of that stuff on the boat, and it's pretty good.
Good, good deal.
Did it work?
So far, yeah. And we kind of spread out last night. Everybody kind of went different directions and relocate the Bluefin. And it was found. We were about 35 miles away from it when it was found. Us and a couple other guys went into the east, but we picked up 3 Bluefin here after daylight. We lost a few. We've seen some really nice schools, and some of the guys that were out to the west last night ended up getting some really nice scores. I'm sure you heard. I think the Supreme ended up with about 90 Bluefin, a couple other good hits, 30 to 40 fish. So we know where we're going to be tonight. So we're looking at schools here. Like I said, we picked up 3, slid on a little school, lost a few, but the last breather that we stopped on was like, I don't know, it was probably a quarter to a third of a mile long. It was pretty ridiculous. Our sardines did not slow them down in the least.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful.
That's wow. And the good news is it's within 1 day range. It's biting. Weather's good. So what's in store for your trip today, Mike?
So we're actually stopped on a kelp here right now. We're looking at a couple yellowtail that don't want to bite. I know I think the angler had a kelp for about 30 yellowtail down in the same vicinity here right next to us this morning. So there has been some decent yellowtail fishing if you get on the right kelp. But we're looking at plenty of fish, and like I said, we know where we want to be here tonight. And on these day-and-a-half trips, when you're fishing, at this range, you get a night, basically 2 nights of fishing out of it in a full day. So the longest day-and-a-half trip you'll ever see.
That's cool. So what's in store for you this week? Can guys and gals get aboard the tribute?
We're chartered Friday night. We just put up Wednesday night because of what happened here last night and what we see this morning. So Wednesday night, early departure, day-and-a-half, 5 p.m., Seaforth Landing. And then after the weekend, we're full schedule. So we weren't going to start full schedule until May, but this looks pretty darn promising. So Seaforth Landing, 619-224-3383, SeaforthLanding.com, TributeSportFishing.com. But our weather is great. Great sign of fish. There were some great catches last night. So I think we're all in from here.
Fantastic, Mike. Got Mike from the tribute.
And the bait is great.
Yeah, and the bait is great. All right. Thanks for catching us up and keeping us posted on this the season isn't on. So get on the Tribute at C4 Sport Fishing and go fishing. Thanks, Mike. We'll look forward to hearing you soon, from you soon.
Tomorrow.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Man,
Mike,
that was awesome
Mike's
hearing
always
about the
really
bluefin.
good about calling us and keeping us updated, and we appreciate his time doing that. It's important. People want to know, right?
Right?
It's like, should I go? Should I
Yes, you
stay?
should.
Time.
Yeah,
Do
like
it.
go.
Do it.
Like
Yeah.
Frank Lepresti said earlier, there's a lot of spots open right now. I mean, the fish haven't been, cooperating. And
It's gonna though.
yeah, I know
It's cooperating now.
It's time to get on.
Yeah,
It
100
is.
fish in one night on the Blue Supreme. Gotta love that.
Bring it on.
Yeah. All right.
Good time.
So what's the deal there?
Oh, I've got a text here. It says, good morning. Great show. I love the bait guys and how they drive our fishing scene. The question, the squid showing throughout the bite of California. When do you ever see squid down here? And can we expect to see any at the receivers this year? And thanks, and a great job you do. And that comes from Mike in Oceanside.
We do see squid. We don't haul it, and we don't put it in the receivers. They lay eggs. It's a big mess.
Yeah.
Most of the guys, if they're selling squid, they're selling it straight off the boat.
Uh-huh.
But that stuff will lay eggs. It'll clog up all the sides of the wire. You got to pull the wire and clean the wire, and
It's just not worth
and there's not enough people buying it to
Not enough
really
demand
make it
down
worth
here.
it. So
It's different
we
than
don't
if
haul
somebody
it.
in like the San Pedro hauls it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
And there's-
different because those guys
and they're
up in
fishing sea
Catalina, they're
bass
fishing
and
it,
everything. Yeah,
right.
but down here we typically
You could haul
don't
a
have
lot of. You probably see a lot.
We see
You
it.
could haul
We
it.
see it. We'll relay info to. I have buddies that are on squid seiners and different stuff. So
And do
we'll
they
let
use
them
the
know.
same? They use a purse seine net. To
They do.
fish
They
that?
use a smaller net.
a smaller. Purse
Yeah,
seine
if you catch too much squid on a small boat, you'll roll that
You
boat
sink
right
it,
over.
yeah.
There's been boats that have rolled.
Yeah,
doing
plenty
that.
of
Yeah.
them. Plenty.
Yeah.
net.
Like
How
the weight of
crazy
it.
would that be?
Oh, it's
Not
hey,
fun. I mean, we've had
Joey's
big hauls
seen it.
on the Rival. Thank God that boat is so big. But when you have a big haul, I mean, it's listing the boat over big. You're
Really? And you're going
questioning
whoa.
your decisions. Did I make a mistake here? So
So it's so if you get into that position when you have a haul that big and you go, wait a minute, I got to let some of this go. Is that possible?
oh yeah. You
Yeah.
you
You're
really
dumping
try to
reins
not
quick.
do that because we're fishing for quality. We're not
Right.
fishing for market.
Yeah.
We're not trying to catch as much as you can catch.
Right.
So if you have big schools like that, you find the edge and you go take a piece of it.
Just cut
Find
off
the edge, find the direction, you'll take a piece of it.
because you want the quality. You don't want
the
to crowd it.
You don't want, so if you catch too much, it happens. Sometimes you'll let go and get another sweep on your sonar and you go, oh boy.
Uh-oh.
So you try to turn off it the best you can, but you
Yeah.
still have to set your circle. You have to do what you need to do. But
Sure.
once it gets down, the net gets smaller, you're rolling that on. You can dump leads and that stuff will just swim right out. Even when we load our fish, we'll take what we need. And when we let our leads go, the whole rest of that school will just coast right on out.
Swim
And
right
it's-
out.
it's hard-
There's no dead loss. The Buck and his dad designed a incredible way to haul bait.
Roy Senior, Roy
There
Everyingham.
is not
Yeah.
a dead piece of bait pretty much from a haul. So we
Really?
take exactly what we need. Everything else goes back live. And then even with the sport boats, those guys are taking a load of bait. Half that bait goes over the side without a hook in it.
Sure.
And it's live. So it just,
Yeah.
it kind of keeps the whole process going.
It's such a
Unique.
environmentally friendly
It really is. It's
thing. You only take what you can use.
Yep.
And the rest goes swimming and
Yep.
and you'll catch it another day.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so unique.
It just
really
glides
is.
right out too.
So Hills and Ventura has an interesting question. Are there more than one species of sardine? And are you catching grunions sometimes?
We do get grunions.
Yeah.
There's a ton of it right now in
Yeah.
shallow, but that's typically shallow water stuff. You'll see pompano and little tomcods and the beach bait. We call it. It's beach bait. You'll see it in the summertime. You'll
And
go
what do you
get
do
your
with that?
scoop and you
And,
go, what?
and there's actually, Joey, there's been a few questions about brown bait too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
you'll get 'em.
part of that.
That stuff will ruin your day because
You'll
the
think.
brown will layer up on top underneath the sardine. So you'll be sonar in a good school. It'll meter like sardine. You'll get them ready, let it go, and you'll have sardine flipping in the net the whole time. But you go to bag up, it just turns gold. And
what's that?
You can't load it.
That's
Just
that's
gold,
brown bait.
the color of the brown. Yeah.
Wow.
And thankfully, you can let them all go.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
dump it. There's no saving it. You'll want to load it sometimes. You'll see the sardine, but it's just
not
it's
worth it.
No, yeah, you got to let it go.
Yeah. Gotta let it
So
go.
crazy, huh?
Wow.
Isn't that cool? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a neat, fascinating thing that we have.
Is
here.
that the same thing with grunion? You just let it go?
Yeah.
If you catch it.
Well, you don't normally get that so heavy that
'Cause it's
gonna
really
wash your
tight,
load
right?
out. But
Yeah.
if
Grunion don't. I mean, I need to admit, Grunion do not run in like huge schools.
no, we get a lot of those big, huge smelt too.
Jack smelt.
Yeah, the big ones.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But that stuff normally doesn't screw you up.
They're just a few. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not. Pete, Grunion don't run in deep schools, and
Yeah.
they're just a thin layer. Anyway, we're going to be right back. We're going to find out who's won this overnight trip out of Fisherman's Landing when we return on the Let's Talk Hookup app and YouTube and Facebook Live.
Power your boat with Norsk Lithium, the ultimate choice for marine adventures. Our batteries deliver unmatched starting, trolling, and electronics power, packed with cutting-edge technology like Deep Sleep to eliminate phantom draw. Built with rugged BCI-compliant cases, they're designed to handle the toughest conditions on the water. Stay in control with the Norsk Guardian app. Monitor performance, track battery health, and unlock advanced features right from your phone. Charge with confidence using Evotech onboard and DC-to-DC chargers for fast, efficient, and hassle-free power management. Designed for maximum compatibility, these chargers keep your entire system running at peak performance, so you're always ready for the next trip. With a 10-plus 2-year non-prorated warranty, you can trust your batteries to perform for years to come. Our industry-leading warranty ensures you get the most out of your investment. With dedicated customer support if you ever need it. Upgrade your marine power today. Set up your custom system at NorskLithium.com or visit Trolling Motor Doctor in Lakewood. Norsk Lithium. No matter where the adventure takes you, we've got you powered.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limit, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
Captain Jamie Tennis from Season Sport Fishing here. For the past few seasons, a dart-styled metal jig has come into play in a big way for tuna offshore or even rockfish down deep. AFCO's crossbreed jig has quickly become the go-to for many since it came onto the market. AFCO's crossbreed jig is good to go right out of the package with a 4X treble hook, heavy-duty split rings, West Coast colors, and sizes 60 gram to 120 gram. Pick one up today at your local tackle store or learn more on afco.com.
Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Catine, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
Hello, this is Captain Mike Totter from Searcher Sport Fishing. Alongside my colleague, Chef Josh Evans, and our dedicated team, we invite you to join us aboard the Searcher. Our fishing trips range from 1.5 to 8 days, available May through November, and include charter options. We're committed to upholding a legacy of top-notch customer service, delicious food, and a friendly and talented crew. Book your fishing adventure online at searchersportfishing.com or call Rachel at 619-226-2403. That's searchersportfishing.com. We look forward to welcoming you aboard.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. We're going to go ahead and flip the coin.
Flip the coin,
Caller,
see who wins.
texter.
Caller or texter?
Texter. Look at that. Jason in Point Loma is
All
going
right,
on an
Jason.
overnight trip out of Fisherman's Landing.
Yeah, and thanks to Carl at Fisherman's Landing for processing. And thank you, Joey and Buck and the entire team at Everyingham Brothers Bait Company. Thank you for taking the time today.
And Brian Kihara
for making it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, putting it all together and such. Thank you. It was super great show.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was good. And of course, baitbarge.com if you want to get the swag.
Yeah.
Wear the Everyingham Brothers t-shirts
And
and
they have
hats.
updates on bait on there too.
Yes.
What the barges have currently, and
their Facebook page is the best way to find out what bait is in the receiver.
they
because they update it all the time. Yeah. It's really super cool. So baitbarge.com. Facebook is just Everyingham Brothers Bait Company.
Yep.
And we'll see you back on the boat, and we'll see you maybe at the receiver.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for being there. Appreciate that very much. And hey,
Next
Cory,
week.
thank you for being here. Tomorrow, on Let's Talk
Easter.
Hookup. Yeah, don't forget, Happy Easter. We're going to be celebrating with Captain Dwayne Diego from Pinnacle Sport Fishing.
That'll be fun.
That's going to be great. He's going to have some insight, especially with this bluefin going around, the sea bass and stuff like that. Dwayne is always a wealth of knowledge. He just came back from travels all over the South Pacific. And
Can't wait to
we'll have
hear
some
it.
good stuff. So that's 7 to 9 a.m. right back here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and of course, tomorrow, 7 to 9 a.m., 97.3 The Fan. We'll see you back here.
Thank you.